Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey Osenbach, and today we're going to do something a little different. So recently I was able to get my clarinet studio up and running again, and I already have one student and a prospect of another one, and I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to start doing some more clarinet videos here on YouTube. So today we're going to jump into the 9 common mistakes that I see among beginner clarinet players. And if you didn't have a very good teacher, I hate saying that, I don't want to be mean, but you may even be an intermediate or advanced player and still be making these. So I'm going to tell you what they are. So if that interests you, stick around, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'd love to have you back. So here we go. Number 1. Okay, hold on, let me grab this. Keeping your reeds in this thing, okay? This is the plastic case that the reeds come in. So normally when you get a box of reeds, they're all individually wrapped. Usually get 10 reeds in a box, and they're wrapped and they are in this thing. Okay, they're in here like this. And this is how you get them, if I can even get it back in here. That's the other thing. These things like are really hard to get the reed back in there. And you open it and it's like this. And I have seen so many people open their clarinet case and pull their reed out, and this is their reed guard. No. Okay, look, air can get in here. When you stick a wet reed in something like this, that's not even really supporting the tip really at all, it's going to warp, which is not what you want. So keep your reeds in a reed case, something that's specifically designed for reeds. I believe Rico has a reed case that will hold 4 reeds at a time. I have one by ProTech that holds 12. Okay, and you've got it on both sides here, and yeah, it holds 12. Now I play a lot, so if you know you're just starting out the clarinet, a 4 reed case holder should be good for you. So that's number 1. Number 2 is not swabbing out your instrument after you're done playing. Every single time after you're done playing, you need to swab out your instrument, okay? Swab looks like this. It's a string with the fabric down here and a weight at the other end, and you you know, flip your clarinet upside down and stick the weight through the bell and thread through that way. I will do an in-depth video on how to swap out your instrument later on. That's a whole video in and of itself. But you have to swap. This is a wooden instrument. Wood with moisture does not mix, okay? Plus your saliva has bacteria and everything else in there. And if you keep that in your instrument and let it sit in there, your instrument is going to get nasty, okay? And it's not going to be good for the wood. So you need to swap it out after every single time you've played, even if it's only been for a few minutes, okay? You got to clean that out, all right? Number 3, sitting the clarinet on the floor, standing on the bell, okay? I've seen so many people do this, and if you stand the clarinet up on the floor, just supported by the bell is not large enough to hold the instrument up, and it's going to fall, most likely, and repairs on a clarinet are very expensive. So save yourself the trouble. If you get a clarinet stand like this one, okay, it's like this. This one is from Hercules. It's perfect. It goes right on the ground. You can set your clarinet right there. I actually have it right here. Or you can take your clarinet apart in half and set it on a chair if you have to get up and and leave, like you're at band practice and you need to go to the bathroom. I'll insert a picture right here of how that would look if you needed to go, you know, leave and you didn't have a clarinet stand with you. So that's what you do. In relation to that, wait, what number are we on now? Number 4. Always, if you get up and leave your clarinet, put your mouthpiece cap on, okay? This comes with your clarinet. There's not any reason to not use this. First of all, it's going to keep your reed safe. That way, if someone or yourself knocks into your mouthpiece, you're not going to chip your reed. And we all know the issue with chipped reeds. It's like the end of the world for any reed player instrument that uses reeds, not just clarinets. So use this. It's going to protect the reed. It's also going to keep your reed from drying out faster, okay? Which leads me to my next point. Point number 5. I've seen people do this. They pull the reed out of their case and they don't wet the reed first, okay? You have to have a wet reed to be able to play the instrument, because sound is created with the reed when it vibrates, okay? Wood is not going to be, which is what your reed is. It's cane wood from sugar cane. It needs to be wet in order to vibrate. If it's not wet, it's not going to vibrate. You're not going to be able to play your instrument. So you can do this with your mouth. Obviously, that's what most clarinetists do, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I love to use water instead because your saliva has acid in it and it will break the reed down faster. So the reed's life won't be as long and you'll have to replace it sooner. And especially for new reeds, they have never touched anything liquid before. So they're very absorbent when you first pull them out of the package. So if you stick it in your mouth and wet it that way, it's gonna absorb a ton of saliva and more acid, so water would be better, but don't leave it in the water for more than 30 seconds, okay? You'll have other problems if you do that. All right, number 6. Reed is not positioned correctly on the mouthpiece. I've seen this a lot. I'm gonna insert pictures here. So here's a picture of what the clarinet reed should look like, okay? So you see how it's nice and straight, and there's a tiny sliver of black at the top of the reed. So you can see a little bit of the mouthpiece peeking through, just a teeny tiny bit, okay? Here's what a reed looks like if it's too low, all right? This is not going to give maximum sound quality because some air is actually passing over the reed and not causing it to vibrate. It's just, no. All right, and here is a picture of the reed too high. I actually turned the clarinet so that you could see it in the picture easier. So as you can see, the tip of the reed is coming way over the top of the mouthpiece, which is not going to give you good sound quality either, because then you don't have the tip of the reed to play on. You're actually playing on harder wood, because if you look at the, well, let me pull a reed. If you look at the side of the reed, it tapers. So it's very thin at the top and gets wider as you go down. And the wider it is, the more resistant it's going to be. So if you don't get it positioned correctly and it's too high on the mouthpiece, you're going to experience a ton of resistance. And it's really, and you're probably going to chip the tip of your reed if you do that. So number 7, Puffy Cheeks. I see this all the time with beginner musicians mostly, because this is a habit that is really taken care of at the beginning by teachers. So I see a lot of beginners playing like this. Or I can't even do it. Which makes the sound very wonky and almost goose-like. Okay, it doesn't have a core. The note doesn't have a core. Whereas if you pull your cheeks in and make them nice and sleek, you have a way better sound. Okay, so All right, number 7 is the wire mouthpiece brush. I'm pretty sure all of us have gotten this in a Clarinet care kit. It usually comes with your swab, stuff like that. So I used this actually for a while, and then my teacher in middle school saw me using it one day and was like, you need to stop that right now. And he looked on the inside of my mouthpiece, and I had a bunch of scratches in my mouthpiece because of the wire brush. Okay, I'm going to insert a picture of it so you know what I'm talking about, because I don't have one because it's super damaging to your mouthpiece, but don't use that, okay? Save yourself the purchase of a new mouthpiece and just be really gentle with your swab and to get the spit out of your mouthpiece, okay? If you've got a very thick swab, don't even take the swab all the way through the mouthpiece because you don't want to warp the opening in the mouthpiece. Just slide it through a little bit and then pull it back out the bottom, okay? I will go over that completely when we talk about the swabbing video in detail, okay? And last but not least is too much cork grease. I have seen this so many times. Actually, I remember in middle school, this kid who we had been playing our instruments for like 3 months, and he was already out of cork grease, okay? Even if you use this every day, which you should do, on a brand new instrument, you should use it a lot, like pretty much every time you pull your instrument out. But as your instrument gets older, you don't have to use it as often. His was already gone. It does not take a lot. You really don't want to put a lot. So when you cork grease your instrument, just go very lightly. See, you can't even see, you can kind of see what I put on. And that's all I put on, and then I take my finger and I go around. And I rub it in. And like I said, when you have a new instrument, you need to be doing this every single time you pull your instrument out to play before you put it together, and then you can practice and swab and go about your day. When you have an older instrument, just do it whenever you feel that the clarinet joints are getting tight and not wanting to be put together properly. So those are my 9 most common mistakes that clarinetists, that I see clarinetists making. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you did any of these. I, did some of them. The wire brush is definitely the one that I remember the most that I did. So, all right, we'll see you guys in the next one.